Hello, welcome to New Mexico. It's kind of a cloudy day today. It's threatening some rain, but so far, nothing. Anyhow, because we're under a fire watch right now. But today I'm going to talk a little bit about the doctors of Ransomville. The earliest doctor that I can remember was Dr. Plain, and he worked me over pretty good one time when I'd stepped on a nail, a big nail, and went right up beside my ankle. And that wasn't any fun. But that memory was kind of short-lived. I don't remember the pain really or anything, but anyhow, after that, along came Dr. Piazza finally. And he was a good man. And so I'll start with Dr. Piazza in here. Dr. Piazza came to town when I was quite young. He had a son, John, and a daughter, Nancy. John was sweet on my sister for a while, and on one spring day, he rode his horse to our farm. My phone's ringing. But anyhow, he rode a horse to our farm and to impress my sister. And I guess he did a good job. I don't know. But the other thing he did was he rode his horse kind of diagonally across our side yard, which was my baseball field, and that horse punched 6-inch deep holes all the way across the field. That boy was mighty lucky he wasn't there when my dad came home. My dad he was upset. But anyhow, let's see, where was I here? John became a businessman of sorts. I don't recall him having much success at anything, but he became a businessman, sort of, later on after school. And Nancy she was sort of a hottie, but she was always cold towards me, so she missed out on a good thing. What can I say? And I have one very, 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 very vivid memory of Dr. Piazza. Because one day, my friends Paul Austin, Jim Austin, and myself, we were playing something, I don't know what it was, but part of the game was we were ransacking our clubhouse, which was an old chicken barn building, sort of. But anyhow, part of the game was we were ransacking our clubhouse. So what happened was, at the wrong time, I decided to grab a hold of this big wooden box to tip it over. And it was the wrong time, because about the same time, Paul decided he was going to hit it with a meat cleaver. That's right, a big old meat cleavers, you know. And anyhow, there was a big whack. And I looked down to see my index finger, this one, hanging by the flesh behind the second knuckle. And I said, it's a good thing that if that meat cleaver would have been really sharp, I mean, all of my fingers would have been gone. I mean, it would have been all gone. I had cuts on 2 other fingers too, which were minor. And but fortunately, it was an old rusty thing that would only give you lockjaw and stuff. But anyhow, this is also when I found out that your bones are not white like you might find in a field, or, you know, leftovers from dinner or something. No, they were a faint bluish green color. And when I saw my bones sticking out, that totally freaked me out. So anyhow, after I saw that, then my dad was called home from work, and he took me straight to the doctor. We were like most everybody else at that time. We had one vehicle, and my mom called where my dad worked, and he came home. And he took me straight to Dr. Piazza's office, which is located in the front of his home, right there on Main Street. You know, kind of right across from where Connor's gas station was, and where the old fire hall is, was right next door to his house. And when we got there, of course, it was full of people. I mean, full of people, the whole front office part. So somewhere that evening around 8 p.m., people in there could see that this kid was hurting. I mean, I was hurting. But my finger was all wrapped up, holding it somewhat together. And but anyhow, so they gave me, a number of people gave me their place in line, and so the doctor could go to work on me. And he took me in, and that's where the really fun started. No anesthesia, none, nada, not even an aspirin, nothing. And I said, oh boy. But anyhow, my dad held down my left side on the table, and the doctor sat on my right side. And he said, and that's while he was putting my finger back together. There was a whole lot of screaming, and I think some of it was coming from me. And but anyhow, he put me back together, and then my finger still works. It points a little off to the right. You can probably see that, maybe, I don't know. But anyhow, my finger still works. And so after he put me back together, my father carried me through the waiting room and out to the car. And I remember seeing some of the people, I guess because all of the ruckus, these people, their faces, they were white as this paper I was typing on. I mean, it was not good. And the other thing was, I got no painkillers of any sort after that. I think my mom may have slipped me something, I don't recall, but I can remember feeling my heartbeat. Every time my heart beat, I could feel it in my finger. And that went on for a long time, a long time. And so anyhow, like I said, I was lucky, if you will, because my finger still works. And my dad carried me out, blah, blah, blah. And today my finger points a little to the right, but it still works. And while I was writing this, I've been at the gun range, and I can still shoot. So that's kind of it about the pain part of the thing. But the other part that I remember about Dr. Piazza was at his house, on the west side of his house, he had a tree. And it wasn't just a tree, it was a black cherry tree. Black cherry tree. And as you know, at most, you probably know, but in most orchards, cherry trees, apple trees, peach trees, all that, they're all topped out so they grow wide and not tall. Well, of course, Dr. Piazza's cherry tree had never ever been trimmed that I know of, so it was tall. It was way tall. It was 2-3 times taller than your basic cherry tree. But boy, did it have good fruit. I mean, there was nothing like a ripe black cherry for good tasting. But anyhow, it was so cool because he let us at the cherries, you know. And I mean, sometimes there might be a dozen kids up in that tree. And some of us knew where the sweet fruit was, and that was in the very top. And it was always loaded with black cherries. But anyhow, the amazing part was he let us at them, and there was never any injuries or falls out of the tree that I know of. And it's starting to rain on me. But that's all right. It's a good thing. We need the rain here. It's poor. But anyhow, that's kind of the end of the story for today, and I hope you enjoyed my story. It was a fun time. So stay safe, and remember, no matter where you go, there you are. Bye.